Hi, I am Nirmalya. Today we will talk about our course Cloud Computing Essentials. Now let me explain how this course is different than perhaps some of the courses that you are already familiar with when we talk about cloud computing. So many a times we take a piece of document and we say go out there and grab a Xerox. Now is Xerox the same as photocopy? They've become pretty much synonymous, isn't it? So much like the same way, cloud computing and AWS have become very synonymous. So what this course actually offers is a very different look at cloud computing. It looks at cloud computing which is agnostic of any cloud provider. So if you have questions like, so what is cloud computing? Right. Under what circumstances cloud computing might be good for an enterprise? Why do enterprises look at cloud computing so seriously these days? Will cloud computing help me save cost? Right. How does it make running an enterprise that much more efficient? If you have these kind of questions without the bias of any cloud provider, then you're in the right place. Cloud Computing Essentials helps you understand some of these dimensions that I just now talked about. So we basically start off by evaluating what cloud computing characteristics are, and more importantly what cloud computing is not designed for. So for example, if you are looking at a native application which requires a very specific operating system, which requires a specific hardware, which runs on a specific programming language, perhaps some assembly even, if we have those kind of legacy applications which requires a very specific environment, perhaps cloud computing or the environment that the cloud provider usually gives may not be the right fit. But for the most part, pretty much all the applications, right, can be migrated onto the cloud. However, there is obviously a caveat. So continuing on, we look at the different characteristics as I mentioned. So one of the key aspects of cloud computing is elasticity. So if you really look at it, the utilization of our applications don't remain consistent throughout the day. So there are peaks, there are periods of time where the utilization is not very high. In a classical environment, you have these fixed resources that are allocated to the enterprise. So whether those resources are being used or not, you end up paying for it, right? Paying in the sense that the maintenance contracts, the hosting costs, the electricity, the networking, and all the other aspects that is required to maintain a data center. So you still end up being responsible for those. Now in cloud, especially with elasticity, your infrastructure can grow and shrink. So we talk about those kind of aspects as well. And then obviously we get into the classic infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, software as a service, and more importantly the architectural view. Under what circumstances cloud computing is good? What are the design patterns that you should be following? Right? What is stateless? What are microservices? What is contemporary architectural styles that is very predominant in the world of cloud computing? All of these is something that we talk about. Of course, you need some hands-on. So with that hands-on, we also provide a brief overview of AWS as well as Google Cloud Platform. So you get a holistic view of what cloud computing is, agnostic of any cloud provider. Hope to see you there.